First question for you, Vu. Obviously, this is an opportunity to taste something particularly sweet, but this isn't the final. We need to keep our eyes on the road ahead. Is there anything special that you're planning or a different way that you're preparing for this match specifically?
Yeah, obviously me and Clawz played in the final of QuakeCon about 2 months ago, and he got the better of me. So ever since then, I've been wanting a rematch, and I was really hoping at this event we would play each other. And now is the time. I know it's not a final, but it's the winner bracket semi-final, so it's still a really important match. The game has changed a lot in the last 2 months. Another best of 5, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, man.
Clawz, obviously you have a winning history in this matchup, but just like Vu mentioned, the game has changed a lot since then, and hopefully we'll see some better games from you today. I know maybe you weren't feeling quite so well yesterday, but you still made it through to the Final Four, and now's your chance to shine.
Yeah, actually this patch infected me pretty hard because I've been always playing with LG. I was abusing LG pretty hard, and that's my style. And now this tournament actually is a really big challenge for me to change my mind, to change my style, and to slow down. So I'm trying to work on it for these days, but I hope I'll do my best.
All right, well, best of luck to both of you. I know there's a lot of history here. Go ahead, shake hands, get ready for the match. This is going to be an explosive series to start things off. Like we mentioned, it is the winners bracket semi-finals. It's a double elimination bracket today, but only one person at the end of it is going to be getting their hands on that trophy. The journey, ladies and gentlemen, begins now. Analysts, over to you.
I wish you were as handsome as that, man. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final day of this Quake tournament. I'm excited to see how things break down, especially with this first match. I'm Jason Kaplan, joined by the handsome man to my left-hand side. It's Dan, CSX. How you feeling today, man?
Good, really good. Got some good matches ahead of us. So.
We do. And we start off things with a cracker of a match. It's a rematch from QuakeCon Finals, where we got to see Clawz pretty much destroy Vu. I mean, there's no way around it. Like, it was 3-0. You talked about it a little bit yesterday. Vu just did not show up in that match. But he has this opportunity for redemption and potentially an opportunity for a handshake.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing he really wants to get at this, and he wants to be on the right side of that. But he'll be the first guy to tell you that he didn't turn up. But at the same time, as we just heard in that interview, Clawz admittedly says he's a much weaker version of himself. So it is a very interesting situation that we find ourselves in, because that slower pace of the game now gives Vu a much greater advantage. And apparently Vu's German.
Yeah, I did not expect him to switch nationalities. He is Dutch, though. So
maybe he forfeited the Dutch nationality after getting whitewashed in the final. I don't know.
Maybe. So we do have, again, the playoffs today. Kilson versus Avik. That will be our second match to start things off with. Vu versus Clawz as well. And then we'll be going through a lower bracket, which would be best of 3. The upper bracket will be best of 5. And because we are limited on time, we will be skipping that initial lower bracket game from the losers from these first 2 matches. So just to give you guys an idea. But most importantly, though, what I'm excited about, Dan, is that the grand finals of this is a double best of 5. So if you're in the loser bracket, you have to win 2 best of 5s against the winner bracket finalist to win.
A lot of Quake.
Yeah. But that's good, though. That's like, the thing is,
games, mate.
I'm thinking, yeah, that's not many. It's only like potentially 60
more than
rounds.
You played in this game entirety.
Oh, you don't have to call me out like that.
It's true.
Oh, thanks, Dick. But no, what's nice about it is there's so many tournaments that go on where it's double elimination bracket, playoffs bracket, but like the winner finalist never gets an advantage. So at least you're going to have that. I mean, it's not going to be one round or one map. It's going to be a best of 5.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have more incentive than to not want to go down to lower bracket now. Like as you said, a lot of teams, a lot of players, particularly in other games, are not really afraid of going to lower bracket, whereas this is a very daunting task to work your way back. And if there is a player that can do that, then yeah, respect.
And if you have Vu versus Cypher happen again, I mean, with how long that series actually went, you definitely don't want to have to play 2 best of 5s of that. So maybe his Sorlag won't make an appearance.
Sneaky Sorlag.
Yeah. But no, so, we also have to kind of recap what's happened yesterday, since unfortunately we don't have, I guess, a ton of time here to do it. We did have tiebreakers in Group A.
Yes.
And those were played off stream. However, every match yesterday that was not played on stream, I'm being told, was recorded. So we will have that put up somewhere on some platform in the near future. Just follow us both on Twitter, and we'll obviously tweet when we do know. Get some more followers for ourselves. But we had off stream Kilson and Clawz play, where Kilson won 2-0.
Yep.
Then Kilson went on to play Cooler, where he won 2-1. That was insanely tense.
Yeah,
that Telefrag kill with Nyx was ridiculous onto Kilson.
No spoilers, but that was really good.
That's something you want to watch out for. And then Clawz beat Cooler 2-1. So Clawz advancing through, Kilson advancing through.
And then we had the world's most awkward dinner with Clawz and Cooler.
Yeah. I think we had to have an admin sit in the middle of them.
Yeah, but yeah, so as you said, they'll be up on to watch on VOD somewhere, and I would definitely recommend that.
Yeah, and then coming into this match, I guess we should kind of focus it on it a little bit more. So you said vo would even mention it himself that he underperformed at QuakeCon in the finals. Why is that?
Because he sucked.
This is why you get paid the big bucks, man.
He partly let the occasion get to him, and he completely changed the way in which he wanted to approach the game versus Clawz, just due to the nature by which Clawz was hitting so damn much. That the fact that whenever vo went to engage him, even if vo had any semblance of a stack advantage, Clawz hit double of whatever vo was hitting, and that's always going to have a massive effect on the way you play. But then it just forced vo onto the back foot, and he never committed for items, he never imposed himself onto the map. And now we have a completely different situation where we're going to see Clawz probably not using that anymore, because the lightning gun is very limited in its effectiveness, and that will allow vo to probably even take the initiative. And then it'll be very interesting to see how Clawz is on the defense. So if vo can do that, I definitely think he's got a really big advantage in this game.
Well, already off the bat, you can already see the damage being done here by vo. Gets the first frag on the Clawz. And we talked about consistency for vo. And as the day began, he looked very strong. But as the day progressed, in that match versus Cypher, he was hitting like, what, 12% rail, I believe it was. He was even saying himself he just could not hit Cypher at all. So definitely needs to show up here. And he's already able to do that so far. As Clawz, though, able to turn the tides and get a nice mid-air rocket onto him to equalize things.
Yeah, strong start from vo, just sticking around a bit too much, and then
he jumps too early.
Perfect timing from vo. Just what he needs to do. This is what I like to see, is that he is willing to impose himself. I think obviously, as you mentioned just now, Clawz's advantage and his mechanical skill is obviously big, but in this particular patch has been vastly diminished. So vo showing his willingness to engage Clawz, get into Clawz's face, and that's one of the things he's not as strong as, is when people take the game to him, he doesn't know what to do because he's so used to being on the offense.
Well, he's up against Doomslayer here at Clawz, and he doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. Doesn't have the Ghost Walk up either. And Clawz, in the meantime, taking his advantage, picking up the Mega Health. I don't know if vo can really contest the heavy armor here. He doesn't really have the HP. And
no, he just needs to buy out and wait for that Ghost Walk, try and get any semblance of a stack, and be really careful for the next 5 seconds. But luckily, the Doomslayer is not the quickest thing in the world, so pretty easy to do.
Pops the Ghost Walk right away. Looks like he's just trying to create some distance, but he gets the bounce. He's not getting the follow-up rockets, and Clawz again, mid-air. His LG might have been strong, but his rockets are definitely doing the work here today.
Yeah, I always thought he was much lower, but ending with 76 health just shows you how stacked this champion can get. So you must once again try and whittle him down, make sure that he can't hit critical mass with the full stack advantage.
Well, I guess that's the unfortunate part on this map. You're not going to have the railgun to use to keep your distance, so, to whittle him down to...
Sure, but there's lots of smart little angles you can play with machine gun, with the nail gun in particular, through teleporters. There's a nice little engagement here coming out from perfect rockets taking the first round. So it's all about as we saw, particularly from Kilson yesterday, those predictive rockets can be so powerful in this map because there's little corners everywhere. It's a very enclosed map. At the same time, the spamming with the nail gun, the machine gun can do significant chip damage. And mastering that's obviously very difficult, but you need to do it when a person's fully stacked and you've got nothing.
Well, now Clawz starting off near the heavy armor. And vo going to be starting over towards the Mega Health. Both of them are going to be playing Anarchy here. And already Clawz gets the first bit of damage done. As vo actually, a nice little juke there. Even caught me off as he's able to escape away from Clawz. But now what's Clawz's game plan then? Because we talked about, the LG has been nerfed, has been changed around a little bit, and that was his go-to weapon at QuakeCon. What's his strategy to go up against vo? Because obviously he's already beaten him before, so he knows he can do it again.
Yeah, I think Clawz is, as we said, he does prefer to go on the offense. He just needs to manage that a little bit more, because as you can see, he's pushing him very hard now, but he's on the receiving end of virtually all the damage coming out from vo, so just needs to keep playing, but moderate that aggression a little bit more, try and play the items and not let vo get on top of it.
Yeah, vo's actually been, I want to say, doing a good job of keeping his distance. He's not like running away, but he's also not engaging harshly. He's just kind of keep his middle ground between them, and he's actually dodging a lot of damage. And there you see vo mid-air. Yeah,
but look, vo didn't really have a stack there. So what Clawz needs to do is he doesn't need to go onto the aggression all the time. Shut down the map, take a few rotations of the items, make sure vo gets nothing and slowly chip him away, then you can push in. At the moment, Clawz is basically getting an item and pushing in too early, and vo's just saying, that's fine, I'll back off, take a slightly better position and deal more damage than you. And even if you have that stack, you're never really going to come out on top unless you hit some crazy shots.
That's something definitely these both players can do, just like that. What a shot out of Clawz. Injection's already been eaten away at 43 HP, and vo will back off immediately here. changing his ground. And Clawz, now he's the one getting the stack. He's the one with the health and the armor. Now vo is, again, looking for some chip damage, as you mentioned before. And he hasn't even forced out the Ghost Walk out of Clawz, so there's no real chance he can like force a fight right now.
No, but he's using that speed advantage to get around the map. He needs to be wary, though, of
rockets.
getting caught like that, yeah. So, but also the Ghost Walk, as you said, he hadn't used it, so you need to be a little bit wary when you are maybe not pushing around so fast.
Oh, he's popped his Berserk right off the bat. Whoa. He gets an air shot directly onto him and gets the final kill. The final shot with the shotgun for 4 damage. I'm not sure why the Berserk was popped there necessarily out of vo.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is that he was trying to beat Clawz to the armor, but was massively overestimated how fast he was going to be.
Or the damage being done. Ooh, that was going to be a mid-air coming through vo. No Ghost Walk available in Clawz. He's been on Nyx this entire time, or for a long time, I'd say, and hasn't had to use it a single moment. Another mid-air landing. 100 damage rocket coming through, and Clawz making it look too easy.
Yeah, once vo was off his Anarchy, didn't seem as strong really there. Just Clawz recognizing a little bit what vo was doing after being slightly too aggressive on the Anarchy and playing a little more reserved on Nyx.
I think what's so scary about this current meta with Rocket Launcher being so heavily involved in it is that you see a lot of like low HP, a lot of light champions being played, right? And that one direct rocket, just like a rail, can completely change the entire matchup for you.
Yeah, and I think as we said yesterday, the pro players, if you speak to them, it's one, whoa,
just like that.
One key placed rocket at the start of the fight switches the momentum massively. So that's why you need to be extra careful, and particularly when you're making these aggressive moves, just to be extremely wary that even if you feel that you're on top, you need to be extremely aware of what your opponent's capabilities are.
Let's see the LG coming out of Clawz, trying to go back to what he knows, and the shotgun's gonna be enough to finish off vo. Didn't even have a rocket launcher there, and Clawz able to pull one back, but already vo still has the champion advantage. It's only 50 seconds have gone by in this round.
Yeah, vo's very good at taking initiative, and Clawz on that defense doesn't seem entirely comfortable. When he has the offense, he's particularly good. He is able to hit those shots, but when vo's getting on top, we can see the round slipping away awfully quickly from Clawz.
Oof, some good rockets again. vo still has at least the health advantage for now and the armor, as he's going to push in with the LG himself, getting bounced up in the air, making it really hard to hit these shots. And Clawz playing it smart, backing away yet again.
Yeah, you spoke about it yesterday, that double jump mechanic is very good at messing with the nice rockets coming out from vo. Just needs one more well-placed.
Oh!
That was nice.
You know what they call those in Australia?
Don't say it.
A good shot. To be fair, though, looking at the way these two guys are playing, it's very aggressive. Oh, the Ghost Walk's already been used as well out of vo, trying to get directly on top of him, and he double jumps over it, hits another 100 damage rocket, and finishes him off with the shotgun again. Clawz, maybe the shotgun's his new go-to weapon. He really is doing some serious damage with it.
Yeah, but you could see from the very start yesterday, we're playing at Skillson, where he was trying to play the older style with the lightning gun. Barely touched it. Considering his prowess with that weapon is really a recognition of how this new game needs to be played. Nice.
Well, there you go. vo catches him right off the bat. Has the weapon advantage, most importantly in that situation.
He also has the whole map now. He should really be going to protect the rockets, but it looks like Clawz already picked those up.
Yeah, and you're saying like different, kind of styles for Clawz, as he switched it up for the LG yesterday to more the rocket launcher heavy today. You look at, Kilson, the way he played against him. Clawz, you mentioned he was running around the map. Kilson was being more of a sentry, more sitting tight, more just kind of waiting for the opportunity to strike with these rockets to hit that first shot. Whereas now vo, playing a lot more mobile, is trying to obviously avoid fighting him when he needs to, but also get the engagements he wants, most importantly.
Yeah, and that's the way, as we're going into engagement here, that's the way vo definitely plays his best Quake. Wow, that shotgun is coming out to really great effect, demonstrating that is pretty powerful. He plays his best Quake, I feel, when he takes the initiative, because yes, he doesn't have the world's best mechanical skill, but his speed and movement around the map and capability to pressure you constantly has a massive effect on the way in which you play in terms of your positioning, your overall stack, and he can just get on top of you before you can get set, and that's his greatest asset, I feel. And as we've had another engagement with
another bounce. That's gonna be the Berserk coming through, and Clawz gets the rocket and the Ghost Walk at the same time. It's another kill into vo. Oh, we're gonna see another fight right off the bat. vo has to back away with his Ghost Walk. Let me ask you then, talking about, you're saying vo plays the best when he's the one controlling the pace, being the active one. Is there any players you can think of off the top of your head that play a better reactive style or more of a defensive style?
I think...
Or maybe it's not their main style, but they play it better than most people.
Yeah, obviously well, vo, as we saw yesterday, Cypher technically can play that style but as good as anyone else, but
just not remember that match.
Some of the Eastern European players are well known for being more defensive and positional. Cooler and stuff like that can play in that. Rafa was often known as, he's not defensive, but extremely well positioned and has a great understanding of when to commit.
Ghostwalk has been popped and
Who gets the first kill?
Clawz gets the win.
He had more yeah.
All right. There you go. Clawz takes the first map here in our best of 5. We did do predictions for this matchup.
I said off stream 3-1.
Yeah.
I'll stick to that, to Clawz.
Okay. And you said the reason was just a feeling.
Yeah, sure.
And sometimes, I mean, that's what you said, right?
It was.
Yeah. I mean, but sometimes you just have those feelings. On some days, you just kind of see that they're going to perform a lot better today. And obviously, Clawz had a rougher day yesterday than vo did, having to play tiebreakers.
I just think the fact that Clawz beat Cooler 2-1 and 2-0 in the groups, despite us only seeing him once on stream and he didn't look particularly powerful, reflects to me that he's still obviously a great player and is learning to adapt, and I think his mechanical skill will come out on top against vo.
Maybe that's the upside for Clawz, the fact that he did get to play 2 extra matches. That he did get to feel out the meta a little bit more and work on his rocket launch a little bit more. And maybe that experience has helped him kind of, evolve his play style here.
I mean, it would have helped a little bit for sure. The one promising thing for me was that vo didn't revert to the way he played in the QuakeCon final and kind of fearing the way Clawz were playing. I definitely think he came out with a point to prove today in showing that he can play aggressive against Clawz. And it definitely works. And there was times where, again, he was being over-aggressive. So just needs to find that balance. Remember, it is the first game of the day. These guys didn't get an awful long time to warm up. So...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The Sorlag. You not a fan?
I mean, strategically, it was sound what he did. Sure. But, as you said, it was a little BM. But you do what you have to do to win.
I think it's not BM at all, because exactly. He wasn't hitting anything, and he needed to do that in order to win the game. And it's the right thing to do in a tournament situation.
In the car, when him and Cypher were talking about it, he stuck to it that, yeah, you can actually counter that shot.
With Cypher? Yeah, of course you can.
But Cypher was saying he felt like he couldn't do anything. Like every time he went in, he couldn't
there are ways to counter it, but the way vo played it and the way Cypher wasn't playing his best at that point in time, Cypher couldn't do anything. I mean, it's very strong if you do it well, but as we said yesterday, to play that slower methodological is very taxing because you have to be continually focusing on...
And like that one mistake.
Yeah, exactly. It's so you have to be so risk averse at all times that puts a lot of pressure on you.
Considering, how long those rounds wait, you had to wait out the 5 minutes basically, and some of those rounds went
because he was
3 minutes a time.
He was 3 minutes?
Okay, 4 minutes a time of him just sitting there kiting around.
Yeah, he was saying how stressed he gets in those kind of situations.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Going into our second map here in just a few seconds. Our second map will be Blood Run, followed up by Blood Covenant. And then if we do need it, Runes of Sarnath and Corrupted Keep.
We already have the first kill
time
of the round, going the way of vo, Steel Series.
And isn't this the weakest part of Starlight, as you mentioned yesterday, right off the bat, where she doesn't have weapons, is when you can take advantage of her?
Dun, dun, dun. Yes.
Oh, there you go. I think I made through.
We are back. Yes. I mean, technically it's the weakest part of everyone's game, and it's all about who gets those weapons first. And if you don't have the rocket, as vo doesn't, you need to be awfully careful. Nice rail coming out there.
Now you have to wonder, are we going to see that passive style out of him? Looks like Clawz was able to get a nice rail onto him. The thing is, Clawz is on that slow champion here on Doomslayer.
Nice.
Get a second here.
And this is what we like to see, because vo, when he starts hitting his shots, that's when his confidence rises, and that's when we can see him pushing out.
Well, that's what we saw. He even said to us, he was getting 10% rail against Cypher. He just could not hit slash.
Sure.
And that's why he felt like he was struggling in that matchup.
I think he's one of these players, it's almost like a domino effect. When he thinks he's not hitting, because obviously he's not hitting,
right, it
kind of spirals out of control because he's like, oh, I'm not hitting, maybe I need to change my style, and that contributes to a further deterioration. So the fact that he's hitting And that means he can get that momentum. And I think more than a lot of players, he's very momentum based. So
And remember, he did say, like, because we had those technical issues happen in his match against Cypher, it was because like some of Cooler's settings stuck over, or he forgot to change mouse excel off because Cooler turns it on, and then he didn't trust his own gear after that moment.
Yeah.
So he was already in like a negative attitude.
Yeah, so
for the matchup.
His OCD gets the better of him. But hitting those rails, but Clawz is equally capable of trading. That's one of the facets, again, we haven't seen a lot of Clawz because he's been so lightning undependent. As he pushes in here against it, saw like it's one of the more effective uses of the weapon, but still not doing an awful lot of damage.
He actually loses out in that trade.
Yeah.
Less HP. Gonna go back here with the LG. 18 health left to go. Gets the rail though. Vu will fall, and most importantly now Clawz will have the mega health to get himself back into this one. And he needed to. He was already down 2 champions, but he also has to find Anarchy here.
Yeah. And as I was just saying, I think prior to Quake Champions, I knew Clawz more as a player that enjoyed the railgun. It was fantastic. So that is a very, very strong quality that we could be seeing more of in this new version.
Well, Vu's trying to get a feel of where Clawz is, and Clawz goes for the drop, switches to the rail, hits the first shot. Luckily, the teleporter will be there for Vu. And good timing for that push in from Clawz too, since the Mega had just respawned.
Yeah, after a pretty chaotic start, both players now seem to have settled down. This is obviously what Vu needs to be doing, but at the same time, he needs to be extremely wary because the Sorlag at any time, if he gets caught out, he's just going to die. So once again, he's going to play very similar to how we saw yesterday against Cypher, but with the Anarchy, it's extremely
Oh, no, the juggle's there. He slows down that momentum falling, and the damage he's done is insane. But can he clean this up? Yes, he will. He needs to be careful to not run back in a spit, but it's not going to matter because that was the last champion Clawz did have.
That dodge, Vu dodge. That was nice. Yeah, really nice. Clawz missing 2, 3 rockets in a row, and Vu coming out with the tracking himself. Lightning Gun isn't dead.
Do you think Clawz is the type of player who's very emotional? Kind of lets, you know, like a kill that he thought he should have gotten that he didn't get the best of him?
If I'm honest, I don't know. He doesn't show it that much on stage as others, but who knows what's going on in the minds of these guys.
Well, he doesn't have really much here, Vu. Looking for the rocket launcher, obviously. Sticking that nail gun for the most part here as the Acid Spit had come down. Took a little bit of damage, yes, but of course he's not going to take damage over time from the dot. And now he has even more burst potential if he can get close proximity with the rocket launcher, which is finally going to pick up here 40 seconds in. And we talked about, you know, on this map in particular, how strong Sorlag can be if you can just like hide in a hallway, like around a corner. Someone comes flying around the corner into you, hit a rocket, you hit an Acid Spit, and they're almost dead.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the style Vu wants to play to now, and Clawz is seemingly reacting slightly to that, being a little bit more cautious around the map, trying to play that rail game, but when possible, following it up with the close combat skills.
Well, both these two players still in the second round, looking for that first frag, and both of them seem to be avoiding each other for the most part.
Yeah, so what Vu's doing is he's not really having an imposing on the maps, but he is playing the corners, using the sound cues to poke out and try and deal some damage as Clawz is moving around. But in response to that play style, really great, is that Clawz is playing slower himself.
Just casual 160 damage done with the rail there.
And that's
like
nice.
Clawz again, taking the heavy armor. Now you talked about defensive and passive, 2 different things. Which one do you think Vu's playing at the moment?
Defensive.
Okay, so he's being smart. He's trying to maybe challenge out on these pickups as you mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, we can see that he's generally getting in the right places to deal damage around the items. We can see dropping down here to try and hit a rail.
Oh, he's got to run.
Yeah, but the fact that he is around there, that's the most important thing, because it stops the momentum, as we said yesterday. It keeps your opponent in check, and if you do hit one, it negates a substantial part of these pickups, which is definitely something you need to do against Sorlag. And then when he's not in any real position, we'll be able to see him hiding around corners, using the sound cues to pick out Clawz. And this is why Clawz himself is playing particularly careful, because he doesn't know where Vu is at all times and risks taking a lot of damage.
Using that teleporter escape again. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, and still no frag to be seen. No real big confrontation, other than a couple of rails here or there out of both players.
No, it's a good slow of the pace down from Clawz, because if he carried on with that super aggressive style, then it would be almost certain that Vu would be in control right now.
Oh, Who's going to hit the first rocket? Looks like the final fight's going to come in, and he does get a lot of damage done with the acid spit with 30 HP, though. He's going to have to back away, but so does Clawz. Maybe that buys a window, though, for vo to pick up the mega health. Just has to be careful of that rail coming through, or these rockets, because he has no HP to work with.
Second too early, and Clawz is bang on time.
Now you have to worry for vo here. He's going to have the speed to get around the map, yes. But the health pool is just not going to be there on Anarchy. You already see the fight come down, and the first rocket does hit. He's looking for the chase. Guess he guesses the wrong direction, though.
Yeah.
So what does vo do here as Anarchy? Like, so obviously the speed is going to be a big part of how he gets around the map and how he actually avoids fights, but these health pools are just so different.
Not anymore. That's one of the things you need to do. Clawz being, for one of the first times this map, being slightly careless and pushing 1 health. Who should push him for the kill? Nice. So that's what I'm talking about. And being slightly careless there, Clawz really made him pay. As vo was able to deal a substantial amount of damage, around 200 with a couple of great rockets and rails.
He's looking for the follow-up one against Nyx. It's 1 for 1 so far, and there's about a minute left to go. He's going to push back in. The Ghost Walk's going to be there, but he gets the kill! Clawz gets too careless. Underestimates vo, and that rocket's going to finish him off here. Now vo can just kite away. 45 seconds left.
Whoa, yeah, why is he there?
Doesn't have injection either, so he's going to have to definitely keep his distance. And now Clawz, I mean, he's on the back foot. He's the one that has to kind of chase down against basically the fastest champion in the game.
Yeah, there's no real reason to vo to kind of move out of this place now, deal a bit of damage as he's trying to push in, but every second he sticks around in the extra peak rail is a risk he doesn't need to be taking. He's got the speed advantage. He's just going to play the teleporter game now.
Now Clawz, he needs to do something big.
Yeah, there's pretty much nothing Clawz can do unless vo makes a massive mistake.
And you can see, I think vo's playing really slow here too, walking around, trying to hear where everyone's going.
He's got no rockets, he's got no lightning gun.
Oh, he thinks he has a rail too. That's going to do it. So vo, slow, methodical. Big explosion of fighting breaking down.
But that, you can see that vo was always in the right position around the items to either capitalize on Clawz's mistake and pick it up, or capitalize on a slight miscalculation in Clawz's awareness of where vo was and deals substantial amount of damage around the items. That's the basic premise I was referring to when trying to be defensive around the items, is just be present and have an impact.
Okay, we're back to Sorlak v Sorlak though. And vo obviously got the better of him last time.
Yeah.
And I want to see if Clawz in particular adapts his style again. He's actually going to drop directly onto him here with the shotgun. LG coming back out. We know how deadly Clawz can be. And he's doing just that. The acid has come out of vo, but it hits almost nothing. It does hit nothing.
Yeah, when we can see that vo is actually coming out with the upper hand on these lightning gun fights. So Clawz being hit hard by this new patch.
I do like the shotgun picks up out of him though. Doesn't have a lot of ammo left for the LG, and the nail gun's gonna be enough to finish him off. And again, vo gets the first frag, and he's now basically 4 minutes of time away.
Yeah, but he has a big problem in that he shouldn't. He is going to go for this mega, but it's going to be dangerous because he doesn't have a rocket.
Does have a rail though. The rail won't be enough, and Clawz does get the kill.
Yeah, when you don't have that weapon, it was safe to assume Clawz spawned at the rocket because of the positioning of where they died, and it was so risky to push into that corridor as we see. Even though he had a stack advantage, without that weaponry, you're so vulnerable. And once again, he still doesn't have a rocket launcher, so it should be interesting if Clawz. Oh, he does.
He's able to pick what he's able to get a juggle here. There's no Ghost Dog up for Clawz. vo pushing the timing there, pushing that window to the max. Now Clawz back on Doomslayer.
He's behind him as well. I don't think vo knows.
Oh, now he knows. He's jumping across. So does the injection get away, so he's not too worried. There's only a shotgun out of Doomslayer for now for Clawz.
Nice.
Gets the juggle.
Quick 3-0. Comfortable.
Already did better than he did in the grand finals.
Yeah, the difference here is that we saw in Corrupted Keep, I think vo came up with a point to prove. I'm going to go aggressive. You don't have your lightning gun anymore. But irrespective of that, Clawz still has great combat skills. His rockets generally are very, very good. And so the switch up on Blood Run is obviously where vo is most comfortable, is his home map. But he did play more passive. He played a lot more around the items, and when he didn't have them, he was extremely careful. And a number of occasions, despite of Clawz trying to be a bit careful himself, he did fall into vo's traps.
And vo, I like how we did get to see like the initial engagements, the ones within sub 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Generally did go his way.
And that was certainly the biggest positive for me, is to see that vo was hitting his shots. Hit some incredible rails, particularly in the first round or so. And then there were a few lightning gun fights where at QuakeCon, Clawz would have come out leaps and bounds ahead of vo.
Right.
But vo was holding his ground, if not coming out on top himself. So that's a
statement
blow.
in its own.
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
much.
That's a huge blow to the way in which Clawz wants to play. And it really makes him reevaluate his style. And that messes with your head. Because when you're an aim player, you're so used to going into these one-on-one fights and coming out on top, and that you depend on them. So there are situations that you would normally take that shouldn't go in your favor, and because your aim is so strong, they do. And when that suddenly doesn't happen anymore, you need to revert to a plan B, and your plan B was normally, I'll be more defensive but still try and out-aim them. So he now is in a kind of catch-22, and like, which way do I go now? So it'd be very interesting to see in this next map how he reacts to that as we go into Blood Covenant, which is slightly more open and will allow Clawz to play the style he wants to. I would expect a Slash and an Anarchy to come out of Clawz, and probably the Doom, but maybe a Nyx.
I'd like to see more of his rocket launch, or not rocket launch, sorry, railgun.
Yeah, I think
He's
it was
some
something
really good shots.
I think he underused that again. When it's difficult when vo, because vo's not giving him the angles, but at that same time you can then, as we said yesterday, use the items a bit more as a bait, as the fallback onto them, rather than just cycling them and then trying to push off the spawn.
Just saying, use them as like bait, as in like
Either
try
as
to get
bait or push off them and then fall back as to restock them up. Whereas Clawz, it seemed to me, was a little bit back in the old meta, where he would pick up both items and then, right, okay, now I have my stack, it's my time to push. Whereas you need to play slightly differently now, because you can't just rush around the map carelessly. You need to be a lot more cautious, and then you can use the resources more wisely.
Well, it looks like maybe there's some issues on stage. As you mentioned, we should be going to Blood Covenant relatively soon. But so far the series already living up to it. And good, again, good to see that vo not really in his head.
I'm definitely going to have to reevaluate my predictions.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. That was mightily impressive.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is,
so we have Blood Covenant next, then Ruins Asana, and then Corrupted Keep if necessary.
so then where would you reevaluate it to?
3-2 to Clawz.
So you still give it to Clawz?
I don't know. I think so.
For me, I've been seeing vo be more of I don't per se momentum-based player.
Yeah.
Like he was able to like slow down yesterday and like stop the rot against Cypher, which he was really struggling against. Because again, he wasn't really hitting his shots. But I don't know. Whenever I see vo like get that first frag, it just everything he does looks so clean from there on, and it looks like he plays a lot more aggressive, a lot more fast-paced, and he just like flips a switch in his own head and his own play style.
I could agree with that, and we saw a lot on every map so far actually. vo coming out on top on the first frag. So if I was Clawz, I'd be like, okay, I'm messing up here. I'm just going to play for the first 30 seconds reserved. I'm just going to get my weapons, make sure they're safe, and just play a little bit more cautiously. And then once he's established himself, I think that's when the game switches slightly, because if vo doesn't get the upper hand straight away, and Clawz can get the weaponry, can get a bit more stat, then we might see vo going a little bit more passive, which would give Clawz more leeway on the map to get freer items and then play the way he wants to play.
And then in your mind, who plays better from behind in this match?
vo.
Why is that?
I just haven't, because I think Clawz has never been forced to develop a sufficiently good defensive game, and every time it seems that vo's on top, Clawz seems a little bit out of his depth in that he's still trying to pressure for items and overextending in situations where he should be backing off. And he's going in for these aim fights because that's how he's developed his game, and that's what was so successful for him previously. But that doesn't work as much anymore, because the rocket on rocket fights are much more high risk, and it's all about who hits that first rocket. And it seems to me that the way in which Clawz approaches his fights gives vo the upper hand in getting in that first damage. I would say vo better on the defensive.
Well, here we go. Loaded into our third map. It's going to be Blood Covenant. Currently tied at 1 apiece here in the series. This is the Italian Esports Open 2017. And off the bat, we're going to see Clawz on Nyx, and vo going to be going toward Doomslayer. And wow, Clawz doing some decent damage here, some decent chip.
So he sacrificed the Anarchy for the Doom. Okay.
We are seeing Slash, though. And we already heard vo talk about how difficult it is for him to deal with Slash, or with Cypher Slash yesterday.
Yeah, I expected a slash, but I expected Anarchy as well.
Oof.
It always seems to me that Clawz is mightily reluctant to use the Ghost Walk. There were 3 or 4 times yesterday. That's like probably the second time today where he could have used it.
Well, no, it was actually on cooldown.
Oh, was
there.
it?
Yeah, he used it like off the bat to chase vo,
okay.
and then he took a shot and backed away. So he didn't have it up in that fight. But no, I know the one you're talking about on the first map, I believe it was, where he just didn't use it at all and he got caught off guard. No, it was the last map and got caught off guard.
Ignore me, but there are a few times where that happens. Nice
I try to ignore you all the time. It just doesn't seem to work. Cheers. So vo dodges away from those rails, backs away. Both of them still very low in HP, but vo's still sticking around. He's still challenging out of this, and this is something you pointed out so much. Like, he knows he doesn't have the HP to go for the full fight, but he doesn't let Clawz take it freely.
Yeah, so it's doing damage and gaining information. So once he knows Clawz is there, he knows the timing, and he knows it's safe to back off as well. So it's more than just dealing damage, it's everything else that comes with it.
It's so risky too, because he had 60 HP.
Yeah, but
he would have died to a rail.
Yeah, I mean, it's the position. It's like, it's one of those things. It's like, if your opponent hits that rocket, or that rail, sorry, it's like, well played, sir. You deserve that.
You deserve that kill. I like how he did actually avoid picking up the ammo too, trying to give away his position.
Yeah.
So he could go in for this rail, which fortunately he would not hit. He's using the nail gun more than any player we've seen so far in this tournament. Has more spam, more fodder just to keep distance.
And we're seeing Clawz actually utilizing the rail a lot more, but now pushing in because he knows that vo's on a slightly back foot. Missing that rail, it could be costly.
He's gonna get the second. Rocket does come in, and he doesn't have a lot of HP, so he's up Berserk to escape, but Clawz chases him down. Actually, you know what? I do like Clawz using the shotgun so much. There's so many opportunities where I think I've seen people escape with like sub 20, 30 health, that if you just pick up a shotgun, you know, a simple hit scan like that, you can finish off the kill.
It's a very sacrifice-esque playstyle, I think, where it's used much more heavily, but he's showing how effective it can be in these one-on-one situations.
Well, those rockets are going to be very difficult to hit for Clawz in midair. vo, even his mastery of movement here to escape.
Clawz's aim a little bit off today, it seems, missing a couple of, yes, difficult air rockets, but a few rails as well. Quite uncharacteristic.
Well, we're 3 minutes through. We're not tied at 1 apiece. And that rail is going to open things up here. Clawz, again, going to be difficult for him to get the chase. He's trying to get ahead of him, trying to cut him off. And he should now know that vo over towards Mega at the moment.
Yeah, pushing in here. Somehow vo escapes after coming quite dangerously through that teleporter. Just, again, Clawz missing a few shots, and luckily for the board man, he escapes. That wasn't board, I meant Anarchy board.
He has her. All right, well, vo switching the rail. Misses that first shot. Clawz trying to bounce him again in the air with the rockets, and 60 HP left. vo's been able to survive, but he gets the kill and suicides at the same time, so best case scenario, at least he does get the kill.
Exactly, yeah. That was just the best case scenario.
Now Nailgun backing away vo, using that Ghost Walk. He did actually a lot of damage to Clawz, and Clawz doesn't have a great opportunity to escape here. Still sticking to the Nailgun with no other gun to use. And Clawz with the LG just tags him up, finishes off the kill, and gets the round on the board.
Yeah, nice little double back there. vo caught unawares, thinking Clawz was just trying to escape. Just switching around with the slash, nice little movement, and
yeah. And actually, I like seeing Slash. Again, we talked about Slash here on Blood Covenant and how good she can be, how quick she is to get around the map. I don't think we've seen Clawz just yet, though, use Slash like we saw Cypher yesterday. I think Cypher's really truly showing his mastery of her.
good awareness by vo there, not to push in, and once again, this time just waiting for that information to know that Clawz is in there. It's those simple things that can make a big difference, but yeah, just good map awareness from vo.
So how do you feel about, by the way, the Nyx versus Doomslayer matchup? Because obviously it's a big difference from previous Quakes to this, where you have to think about not only the maps, not only about the spawns, but the champions. This gets in a second as Clawz actually gets the bounce again, gets the kill on vo. I mean, the thing is, Doomslayer is good, right? He has double jump, but when the ceiling's right above your head, you can't really use that double jump.
Yeah, technically, yeah. But you can use it to prolong your airtime, which then, if you're firing rockets at the floor, will diminish the impact of them.
But yeah, so Nyx v Doomslayer, what's your thoughts?
I mean, it's Doomslayer has a much greater stack, so you can pressure the Nyx a lot, but obviously the Ghost Walk is just invaluable against any type of matchup at the end of the day. So,
would I be wrong in saying that like a Nyx, if she dies to Doomslayer, then that was just kind of the player messing up? Because obviously, like the Ghost Walk, you can get away, and Doomslayer is just so slow that you shouldn't really ever be in a position to get caught out. Or am I just like generalizing too much?
You're generalizing too much.
Okay.
Yeah, it works both ways. As a player, if you can read your opponent and catch them out, then make them pop the Ghost Walk and then either guess where they go or then catch them within that next time frame, you've played well and you've earned your kill. Obviously, it's very frustrating and very difficult, as we can see here.
Vu's sticking around. He wants this battle. He wants this fight. He knows Mega is going to be up, but he doesn't want to pick it up just yet. He wants to get the kill when Ghost Walk is down, and he does just that. Smart read by vo to not back away, knowing there was no Ghost Walk.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that vo didn't push in, but then it was just waiting for his opportunity, so nice read.
Initial rail going to do some serious work. 18 HP left. The shotgun probably going to finish him off. He does pick up a nice health globe. He's actually been able to fight Clawz back, but he's almost trapped in this corner. Eventually able to escape. Now vo with not a lot of HP to work with here, but does have the speed at least on his side as we're halfway through our second round here in Blood Covenant.
Yep, Clawz doing a great job this time, sticking to the range game, and he's winning those trades at the moment, even though vo's on the Anarchy. So again, recognizing perhaps the failings in the Blood Run game, but at the same time, Blood Covenant allows him to play this style much more effectively, taking strong positions, as you can see here, with the railgun, waiting for those trades and pushing him subsequently.
So where's Clawz going to go? How's he going to cut vo off? I think vo's been, even though he's on the Anarchy, he's been playing safe. He's been playing smart, you know, he's not zipping around the map, he's not trying to be predictable. And he's making it really difficult, I think, for Clawz to catch him. And I think that's kind of like what we saw with vo versus Cypher yesterday, especially with Sorlag, and how frustrating it could be to play against that kind of style.
Yeah, but then at the same time, Clawz doesn't need to push in and is doing a good job of just sticking around, making sure he's winning the trades and not overextending. So partly learning his lessons from the previous map.
You can see every rail that he hits too, vo just immediately, all right, okay, you hit the shot. You can still aim, I'm backing off. Not trying to contest it at all.
And the difference is, yeah, he is now winning those trades, whereas in Blood Run it wasn't necessarily the case because vo was matching it.
I wonder what kind of happened from that last map to this one. Obviously, there's a lot more pressure when you're not on, you know, Sorlag. You don't have the HP to work with. But double rail can always be your demise. But look at this, trying to walk up. 1 minute left to go before we hit that sudden death. At this rate anyways, it might as well be sudden death already. Meg's not picked up, but Clawz has actually been able to secure the major items for, I'd say, the last 2 minutes, a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah, vo not feeling confident enough to push into any major items. He will do now after hitting great double rail. And that's kind of the way his game plan for this current time negates it completely. Is try and just hit a couple of rails or a good rocket. That gives him the opportunity to take position on major items.
That was a sick rail by Clawz, though. Really well done.
Yeah.
Like, we barely see the target he was hitting, and now vo pick up the speed a little bit. He hasn't actually even been challenging out that much, vo, on these major pickups. He's been actually giving ground to Clawz quite heavily. These rockets coming through, so hard to hit from the low ground. Trying to get that splash damage, looking for the rail. He's going to connect, and vo is going to have to get the hell out of dodge here as we do approach sudden death.
Yeah, well aware that Clawz is chasing in, so literally, as you say, getting out of there. Backtracking to the other side of the map and forfeiting completely both major items.
And look at the split we have, 12 seconds left.
And he's caught it.
Heavy, oof. He's going to miss the first shot. Doesn't connect the second, and vo, I wish you could have seen that from his point of view. He just did some insane damage there. Was that 2 directs?
Yeah.
It basically had to have been. He had mega health.
Okay. That's what happens.
Either you hit your shots or you don't here, CSX. And vo hit his shots.
Yeah, that is Quake. Once again, Clawz getting that railgun spawn. vo playing slightly more carefully, just waiting once again to make sure that Clawz isn't peeking around the corner and is able to pick it up, but has no weaponry to work with. Still needs that rocket. Well aware that Clawz has the rail, but here's him on the bridge and knows he can get up early as there's an engagement and Clawz coming out on top.
Yeah, it's a nice double rock out of him. Doesn't earn the first frag, and I think this is one of the first times that we've seen Clawz do this. I think he's done it like maybe once, max twice prior. Who's definitely had the initial get-go here, and Clawz now getting railed. He's going to dodge out on the second shot and finally be able to return one himself, and vo not feeling confident to go for the contest anymore, especially now that Clawz has the Mega health. He's going to drop away, head over towards Mega, or Heavy Armor here.
Yep, and this is the problem. When you're losing out on the exchanges and you are one of the squishier champions, you just cannot really contest because each rail does a significant amount of damage to you. Pushing in, vo coming in quickly, hitting with the first rocket, escaping. What a rocket that was. Clawz forced to back off, but does able to get a clean pickup. vo missing his rails, and Clawz still has the Ghost Walk and forced to use it. We should see them now retreating. There's a relatively even split on the items. 10 seconds on the Mega, 12 now on the Heavy. Might just be another trade here.
Sorry about that. I'm back. We're good to go. He held it down. He held the fort down for me. Appreciate it. Does get the Heavy Armor, pushes back in here. vo gonna get the bounce, but he's not gonna get the final kill. Ghostwalker was committed off the bat.
Just coming up off time because he used it before in the previous fight, so that was a very, very close engagement. Rocket going straight through the trail of that Ghost.
Ooh. Ooh. A pillar almost saving vo's life there. At least saving the momentum of this round.
Lucky he's skinny. Look at that air control.
Similar to you. Rocket's gonna land. Injection used right away. 6 HP though. No Ghost Walk for 2 seconds of time. I guess vo doesn't have the timing on this item. A little bit hard to do, obviously, with the time shards, but he's gonna back away.
Yeah, vo,
so close for comfort.
vo now pushing on the pressure a bit more, that trying to get in, avoid these rail fights, so using the speed advantage, making sure, and every time Clawz misses, he's able to push in very aggressively. Is he gonna get a...
He's looking for it, and he gets the double shot. Can he get the third to finisher? The injection used, and somehow vo's fighting back. Clawz has 18 HP. He backs away this time.
So yeah, now vo's realizing he's not coming out on top of those trades, and he's saying when that's the case as an Anarchy, it's just you can't continue. So utilizing the speed advantage to try and get on top of Clawz and force these in-combat fights.
You almost went for the chase there too. On the rail, you can just see barely missing. You can hear the shots being thrown off behind him.
He can take one more rail though. That's why he's being a little bit...
He can, but I don't think he wants to at this trade because he's going to get chased down. That was a fantastic shot. Now Clawz is going to have Ghost Walk up. Feels like he's trying to get his distance away, and now the Ghost Walk being popped immediately here. vo getting back in this round. Minute and 20 left to go. And he has the read. He heard him go off the jump pack. Instead, he gets away.
Nice movement from vo.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah. So complete change in style here from the last round. Very entertaining to see this.
Oh, sees him going up. Looking for the rail. Gets to the first shot. And again, I like this reserve out of him. You know, it's not overcommit into that fight. He hit the rail. Maybe could have tried to pop the Ghost Walk. Gets another rail. Wow, these shots are insane. vo is really starting to step up here in this round. And now Clawz, he's been on the back foot for the majority of this round 3.
vo's just playing
another rocket
this time.
He got another direct there.
Yeah.
And Clawz just can't get a break.
Exactly. Now Clawz on the back foot, finding him in the doorway. Nowhere to go.
It's just Clawz just couldn't get comfortable.
It's the speed, and this is I think he's realized that Clawz doesn't want to take these combat fights, and when he is getting in so quickly, Clawz is never prepared. He's using the wide open spaces of the map to his advantage.
Oh, missed the first rails. Getting so close between the two here. Clawz on Doom Slayer, and both have 1 champion death. So sudden death's gonna be coming up here, bar anything crazy in the next few seconds.
So this was something he tried to do on Corrupted Keep, but given the close combat nature of that map, he was using the speed but getting caught. Oh, whoa! Caught in situations that he was unfavorable. Whereas now he can use the speed advantage to get in and out and deal damage on the fly, and that escapability is what's winning him this match.
I just feel like Clawz hasn't been able to get a second to breathe in this round with just how aggressive and how fast vo's been.
That's what it feels like. But he is doing a good job of taking these positions where he always has an exit.
Ooh.
So vo has to do a perfect job to corner him, because Clawz is leaving himself with 2 exit options at all times where he can deal damage and get out. So vo's having to corner him if he ever wants to get a frag. And that's why he's making vo's life extremely difficult.
There was maybe the corner there. I was just trying to go for the heavy armor. Make up in about 10 seconds, and vo again waiting. He's actually switched up his style a bit more now that we're in sudden death. You can see him being a lot more careful.
Yeah. He's just aware now that as we move into another engagement here, this time vo's going to have to get out.
And Clawz went for the challenge. You have to make a health away from him. And now he's going to challenge on Rockets, try to deny him ammo, deny him positioning. Now maybe vo's the one on the back foot as he eats that rocket.
Yeah, vo was aware that Clawz was able to sneak away that red armor. He's going to, should be a kill. Perfect, Rockets. That once Clawz got that heavy armor and got the stack advantage, vo suddenly had to switch back. And once that happened, he got caught out once and it was game over.
You know, vo's not going to be happy about that either, considering he had Clawz on the run.
Yeah, he did.
For the majority of that round. And then to come into sudden death and just like one bad move, one mistake, I guess one forced error that Clawz made him do was able to actually shut that down and get Clawz one step closer to taking a 2-1 lead in the series. Clawz going to get aggressive again here, trying to deny the rail. He's able to do just that. And the rocket, the perfect timing, waiting for him to land on the ground, looking for the follow-up. vo trying to get away, just go down the low ground though.
And they're just going to trade items, both relatively weak, not really wanting to overcommit. Oh, vo pushing in though.
He steals it away. Nope, he's going to be able to secure that one, and now vo going to get the kill on the Clawz, getting super aggressive. You can see that Clawz was not ready for that. He was not ready to fight.
I wasn't ready for that.
But now vo, he's got 20 HP. He's got to be very careful here. Using a lot of that ammo, a lot of those rockets just to keep Clawz at arm's length. A heavy armor in 10 seconds, and I wonder if vo's going to switch up that style yet again here. Being very aggressive with that one, frag advantage.
Yeah, realizing that it's working for him.
So I'm going to push off this. Oh, nice. He might push off the back of that. Now he has injection. He's got a slight health advantage too.
Knows he's got Clawz cornered.
Oh. Rail's going to miss. Very uncharacteristic of Clawz. And he dropping back down looking for another. Yeah, vo looking good. And Clawz, I'm imagining again just looking for, that 1 or 2 rails where he doesn't get hit to really kind of put vo back on his hind legs.
Yeah, but vo, knowing that Doomslayer is slightly different to Nyx, the reason he pushed in so hard before, because there was no Ghost Walk, and they were relative even stacks, so took a high risk, high reward play, whereas now it's not the same case with the Doomslayer.
Gets the bounce, gets the second shot, he's doing some minimal damage, he switches to the LG, I think a smart move, but Clawz again with the shotgun gets the kill.
9 health, that's unfortunate.
Clawz keeping his composure, most importantly, when he got caught out there, getting bounced into the air. And vo switched him to the Nyx. 1 for 1, goes aggressive. Didn't have Ghost Walk either, he used that to get there. And Clawz just shuts him down.
Yeah, that was a little bit reckless coming up from vo.
He's going to be frustrated, I think. I'd be frustrated if I were him there. Because he pretty much just threw like at least a sudden death, if anything. Now he has to get a frag to tie things up.
Yeah.
Puts him in a different position that he has to play from. And
yeah, he's going to have to play slow, obviously now on the back foot, cornered on that mega side of the map with very little to work with. 15 seconds before as well, so plenty of time for Clawz to probably shut out vo from any of these items, or maybe from weaponry. Surprised that he wasn't protecting the rocket launcher, but Clawz just taking it easy now with that 1 champion advantage as well.
There's no rail for vo either, so it's going to be hard for him to fight at range, trying to get up close and personal. You can see Clawz immediately backing away. Coming back over towards the rockets, hits the rail and prevents vo from actually jumping up to go for the chase. Though I don't think that's a chase that vo wanted to have happen after being hit.
No, vo desperately needs a rail gun, so that would be an area Clawz should be protecting.
Does Clawz know that though?
He does.
Considering, yeah, there you go. I was gonna say, considering that vo was contesting Clawz over at the Mega after you picked it up, maybe you have the time to secure that.
It's one of the things as a player you can usually infer. So.
Okay. So again, Clawz maintaining control, Maybe he's going to slow down the pace. Maybe he's going to give vo a little bit of a taste of what he did earlier on, sort of like and what he did yesterday to Cypher.
Yeah, Clawz is just playing the basics now. He has full control. There's a 10-second split between the two items. Every single one of those rails means that vo's...
Oh my. I did not expect that to come out.
Nor did I. Nice. So we did see a really great adaptation from Clawz. We said, well, I said that his defensive play wasn't as effective, but we saw a good middle period of that game. vo stepping up the pace, what I thought was the right decision, and Clawz reacting perfectly. So he this time went on the defensive and did it very, very well. Was able to contain the speed of the Anarchy, gave away virtually nothing.
And in the round before last, that's when we saw vo having control of the majority of the round, running around, constantly being aggressive, fighting every single opportunity he had, and not letting Clawz feel comfortable.
Yeah. And so what Clawz did is where possible, he tried to stay in quite open rail situations where he knew that vo was on the other side of the map, and when he wasn't entirely sure of what was going on, he took extremely great defensive positions in doorways that had double exits, so that if vo pushed in, he would make sure he could probably hit the first rocket, and he also had an escape option. And it took a really great play from vo to nail down Clawz up as we saw the lower teleporter. Apart from that, Clawz was able to keep away for a good 3-4 minutes at a time. And that is no easy feat against an Anarchy, because that champion can just get in your face at all times. So you have to be, again, extremely aware of your situation and what's going on.
Well, moving on to Runes of Sarnath now. Do you expect to see any different picks here from these two players?
Might see the slash coming out from Clawz again, and maybe the Anarchy as well, but...
Yeah, we didn't get to see much of a slash there, now that I think about it. There's an occasional, you know, I think like one time we get to see it really being played, but not to the same extent of what we saw yesterday with Cypher.
So yeah, it is the same picks, Doom, Nyx, slash. Yeah, we didn't really. I think it came out obviously just once, and vo was able to shut it down, so pretty easy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, more importantly, like the mental block that must be in there for vo after Cypher, because again, like we did talk to him in the car, and he just said he just can't hit slash. He for some reason cannot hit her.
You didn't have a particularly hard problem that much hitting many rails though?
No, not at all. So definitely was able to overcome where he was struggling yesterday. Most importantly, I think.
Yeah. But this map, I think it'll be closer than the last map. I think vo definitely he can slow this down a little bit more than Blood Covenant if he wants to. So yeah.
So we keep talking about it as if like if vo wants to slow down, or if vo wants to like control the pace of the game. Is that generally the consensus of how this match has been? It's vo's controlling the pace. It's Clawz is the one that's just been responding.
It's been so back and forth. I mean, they've both been forced into situations where they've had to try and slow the pace down. I just feel that if Clawz gets momentum, I'm more concerned for vo at the end of the day.
Okay. Well, off the bat, vo going to be playing Anarchy here. Does already have the weapons he needs, hands down, and Clawz going to be on the Nyx. I'm expecting to see a lot of rail here, actually, between the two.
Yeah. We saw in the latter end of nice read from vo. Somehow Clawz coming out with 2 health remaining. We saw at as we said in the Blood Covenant, the previous map, that vo switched it up and preferred to try and take...
Oh my lord, vo!
Bugger.
I was going to say a different word there. He ghost walks into him knowing he was going to be at the mega health and gauntlets him down.
Ooh.
That was deadly. That was insane. That was good read again.
One more.
Can he survive this? Oh, and he dies, vo! 11 HP.
Okay. 1 minute down.
Well, he talked about slowing it down, but I don't think he wants to have any of that here. Looking for maybe another one. Clawz, though, is going to shut that with slash here. Nice little rail, but still, that was some quick, amazing play out of that player.
He's going in with a punch.
Are you kidding me?
No.
He got a gauntlet kill. Can he get a punch kill? No, he's had to switch off.
That was too risky. The pummel, not so much. Massively unexpected, but there, big open area, lots of dodging capabilities. Okay.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Round 2, fight.
All right, we'll go into the second round now. Yeah, I mean, you're saying It's a little bit too aggressive, and maybe that was the aggression he was trying to catch Clawz off guard with, which it did work out for him with the first kill he was able to get onto Clawz with the gauntlet.
No, I think vo wants to pick up the pace, and he wants to force close combat fights.
Okay.
I think these rail fights is now. I don't think he wants to take them after Clawz has kind of found his feet in this match.
Still going for the chase, and you see Clawz backing away. Still able to dodge out from a lot of these rails. Gets up close and personal with the shotgun himself, or sorry, with the rocket launcher himself. Backs off, picks up the armor. Again, vo getting around the map extremely quickly. What a great read on the first rocket. The second's not going to land, but the third still doing some decent damage. Clawz trying to fight his way back here, but he's trapped in the corner. The Ghost Walk has been popped. 2 HP left. What
a read! Casual 180 rocket. What a read.
Oh, I'd be so tilted if I was Clawz there.
Complete understanding of the high-risk game in which Clawz was to play. And it's just one of those things you have to do as a player. Like, you just have to check behind you. Even if it's the dumbest thing in the world to do.
You know, because considering, Clawz had 2 HP as well.
Exactly.
So it's not like you're going to expect, as a player, you're not going to expect him to chase you with 2 health, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, so well done. And now Clawz being pushed back here. vo trying to get super aggressive. Bounce him another time and gets the kill.
vo coming out with the plays in this second round. But it was the slash that clawed him back in the previous, so needs to be slightly careful. This time vo does have a healthy stack to work with, offsetting the mega health so he can get a bit of a split. Trying to work out the timing of the heavy as well.
He's trying to work out the speed right now as you see Clawz just dancing around him on those rollerblades, on those skates. 14 health. Most certainly going to fall from that. Clawz will look to equalize, but vo's switching over to the Doomslayer.
And yeah, as you said, vo does not like really playing against the slash, so utilizing that plasma trail just to secure the major item. Making sure that no silliness is going to come out from vo.
Yeah, at this rate, I mean, who knows when that could happen. Just from map basis, vo's been changing the pace of the game. And credit to Clawz, though. Clawz has been adapting to it really quickly. Yeah,
that positioning he just saw from vo in the mid should give away the item timing as well, so Clawz might have an awareness of when that is. But it doesn't matter, now he's forced off the heavy, and it should give time for vo to get back, although Clawz will try and secure it.
Yeah, 2 seconds left on the Mega. Looks like he'll be able to... Oh, he's actually coming in with the fisticuffs, trying to get there a little bit quicker. He's dodging away from a lot of these rockets. 17 HP left. Clawz looking for the rail. He won't hit the shot, and the shotgun out of vo will get the kill and get the round.
Yeah, vo reacting to what we've seen out of Clawz, using that mid-range shotgun. That is the play now, it seems.
I mean, it's more reliable than a rocket. Obviously, it doesn't have the same kind of damage potential, but I think when you already know you hit like one of those rockets, more reliable damage is always going to be the way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Some high-level analysis out of Jason Kaplan here.
Yeah, you're on fire.
I learned from the best. From Zoot, not you.
Cool story.
All right, so into now round 3. All tied up. And again, vo keeping the pace very fast with the Anarchy.
Yeah, it's definitely, as we said, something he's favoring. Look at him pushing in now. Nowhere for this next to go. Doesn't have Ghost Walk. Just needs one more good rocket. There it is.
Well placed.
Yeah, the one thing that vo's been exceptionally good at, I find, is recognizing those opportunities. So he's wanted to play offensive. This is dangerous from Clawz.
Oh, the bounces. He's keeping him at arm's length again, just from the rockets alone. He's not going for the chase, but he goes for the teleporter and gets the kill.
Yeah, he's recognizing when he has the advantage and capitalizing on it. So every time that Ghost Walk isn't up, we can see the pace just kind of raise a few miles an hour. Or kilometers an hour for you Muppets in America. Do you use kilometers?
You did it backwards.
I
said miles per hour or kilometers per hour for you Muppets in America.
Do you use kilometers now?
No, we use miles.
Oh, Europeans.
You use kilometers.
No, we use miles.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you guys driving the wrong side of the road. So vo now with 2 champion kills has an advantage. Why do you guys drive on the left? There has to be some story about that.
Because we invented driving.
Okay, you didn't invent driving. It's like inventing breathing. Maybe you did that too, who knows. vo gonna back away. Positive has come in. He's actually already hit direct rocket, but he's trying to go for the kill, and he does get it.
Nice
a clean 3-0
rockets.
sweep on that round.
That
was looking
nice.
good.
Yeah, vo
Looking comfortable now.
Exactly. He is very comfortable when he's forcing these fights, and it is Clawz on the back foot. Yes, he has some great combat skill, but the pace that Vu's playing it just no matter who you are, it really upsets the balance of the game.
So during QuakeCon, what were the play styles that Clawz struggled with?
Clawz?
Yeah.
He won.
Yeah, I know he won. I'm talking about throughout the entire tournament. Was there anyone to really kind of put him on the back foot? He wasn't challenged at all.
I mean, he had a relatively easy run, well, not easy run to the final, but easier than Vu, easier side of the bracket. And it was just the way in which the game was played, it was just pretty much pure aim. Rockets didn't exist back then.
So then, are we now seeing maybe some weaknesses within Clawz, finding that he's being challenged without the LG being so strong?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That the aggression is hard for him to respond to?
He seems, it's much weaker than he was back then. Obviously, the game was over within like 20 minutes, and now Vu is on the brink of kind of taking this to a tight game. So you can see the difference in play styles here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bounce comes in yet again here. I like to see actually how players ebb and flow throughout patches. If they're able to change their own styles depending on what they need. Great little timing on the Mega Health there.
Nice.
And Vu
but
capitalize off that.
But Clawz is in this position. He beat Cooler to get here. He qualified from an extremely tough group. So yes, he's weaker than he was, but he's an exceptionally skilled jeweler.
Yeah, I mean, when we say weak, we're not saying, you know, I can beat him. We're just saying...
No, I mean, that would just be wrong.
Yeah, that's not even possible. I could probably beat you. I could probably get, like, out of 100 duels, I could probably get at least one kill.
Nice rockets for the Mega.
I was just expecting you to say, like, no, you wouldn't.
I'll give you one.
Thanks, man. Made me feel good. Keep me around. So now Clawz. He's been able to shut down the champion he's really struggled with against Vu. Anarchy,
yeah.
The speed's now gone, so he can play a little bit more of a style he wants. He's the one now who has a speed advantage.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely think now this
Just keep him off the rail.
Clawz as he goes in for missing rockets as the Doom flops around.
Like a fish out of water here. Both of them with about 50 HP will back away.
It's really frustrating to hit the double jump mechanic.
But you see, though, a lot of players here so far in the tournament with Doomslayer, you know, being played, they're a lot more patient when it comes to the rockets, trying to bait that in. The punch is going to come in, but Vu's not going to get the connection. Swing wide right.
I'm not sure if Vu miscalculated the amount of rockets he had, because I think he tried to drop onto Clawz when he was picking up the health, and then instantly run out of rockets after the first shot.
Okay.
So it might have been a mistake. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, Clawz, I guess misreading the timing a little bit here. Does secure the heavy armor. Now the Mega Health's going to be up, which Vu will be able to pick up himself. I imagine it's going to be very difficult for Vu to close this out against Slash. We already talked about, you know, how hard he's had in actually hitting shots against this champion, but the speed.
Oh God.
Oh, he can. Is he stuck? There we go.
He was.
That awkward, like, looking around like, guys.
Nothing happened here, folks.
Just remind me of Family Guy when, at the end of the episodes, when Peter jumps into the air. You know, and if like freeze frames when he gets stuck. I don't know if you've seen that episode. Good times. Good stuff. This gets free. Slows him down for a second, but it's not a big deal here.
No, but I think that error might have cost him maybe the Mega Health. Maybe. Either way, they're pretty much on level footing with their stacks.
Oh no, Vu did have it. He did have Mega Health before that. I know. 100% sure. Oh, Rocket comes in. The heavy armor's going to be picked up. A really bad timing out of Vu there, and he looks for the shot on the leap. He's going to get the follow-up rail, though, and Clawz drops back down. Nice. He's got 70 HP, and he gets the kill with a mid-air rocket. And now Clawz on 1v1 here with a minute left to go. He needs this round to keep his hopes alive in this map, and Vu needs this just to take it to a map 5.
Vu taking initiative, but he's in danger here. He's still got no Ghost Walk. He needs to get over to the health, but he's still going to be railable.
See him spamming away. Just a couple of shots trying to keep Clawz back, and he gets the kill with the machine gun. Clawz!
Whoa! Taking way too big a risk. He knew that Vu was railable. And I guess that just shows the mentality of Clawz.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, exactly. High risk, high reward, but sometimes unnecessary.
He could have backed away.
It was one rail, but at the same time, it's Nyx, one of the harder champions to hit. Sometimes it's just not worth it.
Well, to be fair to both these players, I mean, whoever loses this still has another chance since we are running double elimination playoffs.
Would you want to be down there? in that cesspit.
I would be happy to make it this far, to be honest.
That's very true.
Because that means I beat what? I beat Cooler, Hal, Cypher, RZD.
Is that the dream?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Kilson and I have a deal.
Yeah.
Not a deal, a challenge. He drinks, he said like 100 at first, 100 beers. I'm like, yeah, okay.
okay,
He drinks 20 beers, and then we play out like a certain amount of duel matches. If I ever kill him once, then he owes me something really, really good.
It's not going to happen.
You really don't have faith in me?
No.
20 beers. I don't care how German that man is.
Yeah, but I know how Overwatch you are.
Oh my. My dad made the game, so.
Jeff.
Come on. I think I could do it. You can train me.
I don't want to train you.
You literally told me like yesterday.
You frustrate the hell out of me.
Don't you like it? We're like that couple that yells at each other all the time, but then get back to the hotel room and we make up.
And we're moving into Corrupted Keep.
Yeah.
And this...
Clawz took this map
Yeah,
before.
I know. And I'm trying to think because if vo0's going to change anything, because he tried to then pick up the pace, but again, as we were talking about the more narrow elements of the map, he was getting caught. And it didn't fall into his favor. It was very, very close. I think the score was 3-1, but it was actually a lot closer than that. I think he should stick with that quicker pace. I think that was working. Particularly, we saw in the first round, Clawz didn't have a chance, and all the subsequent rounds were close. So just kind of that balancing that aggression and over-aggression.
We got to see Clawz use a lot of shotgun when it came to Corrupted Keep before. So I wonder if he's going to kind of stick that route, and maybe we're going to see it. Well, I mean, you get tankier, you get a bigger model, but it means you take more damage from shotgun. I don't know if he's just switched up. I don't know if he's going to continue to play the route. I don't know if he really kind of is going to think back to the first map and how that went, because each map has been so different. Obviously, he'll think about it in terms of play style, but
No,
vo, he's been able to be successful, being aggressive.
Yeah, sure, but going into it, you do have to think about why did I lose the first map? It's something you need to analyze in your head, and there might be an adjustment to be made, or he might be well aware of what went wrong and just might think it was a little bit unlucky. So, but we will see.
Looks like we will though have Anarchy again. For vo, starting off with Doom Slayer and Sorlag up against the Sorlag, Doom Slayer, and Nyx. So again, vo's gonna have the opportunity to control the pace here of this match off the get-go. Does actually have him in a really bad position. Clawz is gonna have to escape here, have to use a Ghost Walk to get away and create some distance. But the Ghost Walk actually ends out right in front of vo. Still has the injection up and has some armor now to use, trying to get back in for this fight, trying to let him escape here. Clawz has to be careful. He needs to hit these shots. The LG comes down, with vo dropping onto the low end part of the map. It allows Clawz to have the high ground advantage, and they're going to finally back away here to pick up the heavy armor. I think for the first time of the game.
Yeah.
I think it's both.
Slightly realizing it was slightly high risk being down on the low ground, but also realizing he has time to push in if he needs to for the kill because the Ghost Walk was still not up. So once again, just great game management by vo, recognizing the timing available and capitalizing on the whole situation in the map with the upcoming items. And
was that a miscalculation from Clawz though to like fight that quickly after? I mean, knowing he didn't have Ghost Walk, or was that actually just vo catching him out?
That was vo catching him out.
Okay.
Clawz was still trying to get help.
Oh, sorry, there's a lot of potential for some nail gun damage there. Only 3 ticks with the LG. He has timings on both major pickups too, so vo, if he can get around the map quick enough, has a 6-second split between the two, and this is going to be a very hard fight for him to take. Tight quarters, high HP target.
Yeah, but
double jump into the air.
It was the right call. He caught Clawz off guard, but once again, it shows the importance. vo does switch up his picks.
Yeah, he went to the Sorlag. It's Sorlag v Sorlag here, but the pick wasn't enough. 15 HP left.
Interesting.
So he's beefy, he's tanky, so he can deal with Clawz and like the health pool, and he's actually still faster than him. Thoughts?
I was just talking about the previous fight. It was the right choice to catch Clawz in that nail gun, but again, it just shows the power of hitting the first rocket that Clawz was able to react and flick vo off pace.
Another rocket going to come through. It's Doom Slayer versus Doom Slayer. vo is down a champion, and we still have 3 minutes left to go.
Oh.
That's a great mid-air rocket landing. Sick midi. Just see you shake your head when I say that.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Give me a better term and I'll use it. That rocket going to unfortunately miss for him. And Clawz with no HP is going to fall eventually to the LG out of vo. But now he's got his own Sorlag, so it pretty much reverse of the matchup we just saw when vo was on Sorlag against Doom Slayer. And that's its bit. I mean, Doom Slayer has a relatively big model. Pretty easy to hit those shots.
Not as big as Sorlag, though.
True.
So it is one of the champions that we saw vo on Blood Run, in fact, actually using the LG to great effect for a lot of time.
I wonder if, you know, in the thought process for vo, or, you know, most players who go up against Clawz, even with the LG being, you know, changed around a little bit, not being as powerful as before, if they avoid taking these bigger, these heavy champions, knowing how good he still can be on LG. Probably doesn't get thought about too much, but...
No, not really. Nice.
See the damage coming through there, looking to back away, but the damage over time will be enough. Clawz gets it. You changed your prediction to 3-2 for Clawz, and it seems like it might come true here. But vo's put on, I think, a valiant effort nonetheless.
Still a long way to go.
True. True. It's not over just yet.
1. Round 2. Fight.
I mean, vo did have the initial frag, too, in this fight.
It's true. But then a couple of perfect rockets. So in the final 2 champions that vo had, just 2 great starting rockets by Clawz, and that was the demise of vo.
No shotgun for vo. Doesn't really have any items here. He's still hitting some shots, though. Still doing some decent work while he's trying to get around the map.
Oh, perfect. Full rocket coming out from Clawz.
Unfortunate for vo, too. You can see he was really struggling to... Or it was more of Clawz actually just controlling the map there.
I think vo's in a lot of trouble here.
129 HP. Clawz has to be careful. Shotgun. Send him into somersaults. And now vo's down to 1 champion. He's down to Doomslayer. And Clawz is going to have Ghost Walk up in about 15 seconds time.
Yeah, he's deliberately switched up to the Sorlag to try and keep that pressure game up, but using a much bigger stack, as you said. But sometimes slight misstep and miscalculation on the timing there, allowing Clawz to get the armor and move out of the way from all damage. So he just needs to refine his game and play a bit cleaner.
Problem is now Clawz is going to have Ghost Walk, so he has a second chance at life. Well, only one, I guess, since he didn't actually use it. Didn't expect the damage from vo to come in. And now vo looking to equalize things, but he's going to be up against the Sorlag. He does have him spotted out. He does have him actually at a major advantage for himself. He's going to back away with the Acid Spit coming down, realizing that damage is going to be a little bit too tough for him to compete with. Smart play, realizing he only has 1 champion left, but that was a great rocket, but Clawz gets the flick, gets the kill. Is now 1 step closer for advancing through into the winner bracket final.
Yeah, I mean, this has been such a quick turnaround in that both players are going in hard and not really holding back. So pressure's on vo now to, is he going to carry on, or are we going to see him retreat a little bit?
I mean, what would you do in this situation? Change up your style, or would you still try to play the way you know, or the way you want to?
I would play safer now. Last round, I would just have to play safer, make sure I pick up all the items, get the weapons.
It's good, 48 damage done. Clawz. Maybe looking for the chase. That was a rocket that could have sent him 1 step closer to the winner bracket match. They're going to drop down both of them here. You can see both just trying to dance around this, and vo, well, has advantage. Since Clawz has that little bit of environment stuck up behind him, easier to hit splash if you're not going to hit the directs.
Yep, definitely.
He gets the first frag, and I think that's going to be a sigh of relief for him too, because he's been on the back foot in this entire map so far, except the first round for that first frag he got.
Still needs to be a bit wary because obviously Sorlag, extremely tanky, also relatively mobile, doesn't want to run into the Lizard in any kind of close corridor combat.
There's no rail to use either to keep your distance, and look at this camp coming in. He's at the Mega, and smartly enough actually goes through the teleporter too, which I think has saved him a lot of damage he might have taken.
Gets in and out cleanly. Pure speed and follows back up.
Nope.
Extremely risky.
Oh, he picks up a health glow up too, so he's going to survive. He was at 19 HP when he was taken away.
So that shows, even though that vo got both of the previous major items, just a slight misstep and running into the Sorlag was nearly his demise. And vo commits suicide up in the corner.
Yeah, I guess getting knocked a little bit too far to the side. Actually, he's caught him out. Clawz getting caught out immediately on the respawn. vo, he gets the kill with the shotgun. Good. A little bit of luck here out of vo, but also good realization of knowing how low Clawz is, and Clawz coming back in with the LG, looking for that tracking, and vo gets it again. vo will get himself back on the board for the first round here of our final map.
Great courage there, kind of going down to one of your last champions, but recognizing that Clawz was weak, and even though you only had a shotgun, if you could get there in time, you could catch him. So just again, awareness of the situation is key.
Oh, both again starting off on Anarchy and Nyx. vo immediately spots him out. I like this little shotgun. I think it feels like vo's incorporated shotgun a lot more over the course of the series into his play style. I've just seen how much damage Clawz was doing with it before. And again, he doesn't have a rocket launcher right now, so he's kind of stuck to it. Clawz will drop him from behind.
The Anarchy's now gone relatively early, and Clawz is still relatively fine. Who is able to pick up the Mega Health and get all the weapons he needs to defend himself. And the Ghost Walk is also up.
We're seeing Clawz now try to almost funnel vo into a position. There's a little bit of time left before those items come up. And both players just kind of sitting back, not really forcing any sort of fight just yet.
Yeah, Clawz, I think, recognizing that vo's aggression in the last few maps and taking safer positions, so waiting to see what vo's doing rather than pushing in. So it is smart from Clawz this time, and vo's lost that Anarchy, doesn't have the pace advantage, and is aware of the situation in that he is risking being knocked down to the lower bracket, so playing much more cautiously.
Like literally both been on their own side of the map. Finally, vo's gonna be the one to force the initial engagement. Again, Clawz fighting from there is so difficult to do, but vo takes a direct rocket. 50 HP, he's gonna back away. I don't know how Clawz can hit those shots. Those rockets from the low ground, so difficult to do. And vo won't have the opportunity to pick up the heavy armor. And Clawz should be able to get the Mega Health. So now Clawz just switching things around. That one rocket just completely changing the pace of this game. Oof. Is that a Ghost Walk?
It was.
He dodged away from that direct rocket. He has a shotgun. He has 90 damage with the first shot, and vo's gonna fall. Clawz now one frag away from getting through to the winner bracket. A second tournament running.
Yeah, vo was really caught in two minds about where Clawz was going to go, and just I think going up the jump pad was the riskiest of the choice.
He's on the chase of Sorlag. He does obviously have the HP and armor advantage. Clawz trying to keep those stacks up. Trying to continue to push forward. And he knows exactly where vo's going to be. Hits the first rock, connects the second. The Aspect has come down, but he's lost all that damage because the Ghost Walk has come in. He's on the chase. He wants the kill. He's going to get it.
GG.
Clawz will take the map. He'll take the match. And he'll be one step closer to defending his title yet again here in Italy.
And they
Oh, okay. No handshake, but they'll get the hug. Well played from both of them, though, to be fair.
still no handshake though.
Yeah. But well done.
So we saw...
Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible final map on Corrupted. Keep or give it up for both of our competitors here. Great game of Quake Champions. Clawz, I'm going to borrow you for just a moment, mate. No rest just yet. Obviously, massive match. Loads of people wanted to see it happen. The world wanted to see it happen, and you managed to come out on top. But it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy totally. But I figured out some things, I did my best, and actually rockets feel pretty good. I was amazed by myself. I hope I will continue that way. And yeah.
Let's talk one question from the start of the map. We saw that in map number 1, vo came out incredibly aggressive against you, but you managed to win that. We then saw a more slow-paced approach, and he picked Sorlag, and he managed to win map number 2 as well. Talk us through like what changes you made to your game after those 2 maps to try and take the series.
Actually, I did all the same, but I felt more comfortable on this maps because ZTN, the Blood Run, is less comfortable map for me, and actually he did pretty good there and I did very bad. But I kept the same way, hitting my shots.
Well, they were tremendous, and ladies and gentlemen, can we please have one more round of applause for Clawz? Incredible stuff through to the winners final here at the Italian Esports Open. Now, of course, that match went all the way. We're going to be going now to the desk. There'll be a lot to talk about, an incredibly tense series. Let's break it down.
Oh, come on. No